Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Peaky Blinders. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Peaky Blinders Season 1. Woohoo, I'm doing TV show reviews. And I watched the first episode of Peaky Blinders a while back, but I just kind of kept it on the side. And I was like, you know what, I'm feeling like watching a TV show. So I did watch the Peaky Blinders, and obviously I started binge watching it. And I was like, you know what, I can review it on my channel. Don't know if I'll be including the clip where I try to mimic a certain accent, but we are going to be talking about the Peaky Blinders. All right. We're going to be starting with what is not good about the show. Now, what immediately overall, I do like this show. I like this show. It's not the best show I've ever seen. It's not the middest show I've ever seen. It's a good show. It's definitely on the positive spectrum, right? Which is why we're going to be talking about what's not good on the show first. Thomas Shelby, a dangerous man, leads the Peaky Blinders, a gang based in Birmingham. Soon, Chester Campbell, an inspector, decides to nab him and put an end to the criminal activities. There you go. That's the plot of Peaky Blinders, right? Season 1 at least. Or, I don't know, that's just the plot of Peaky Blinders. Anyway, this plot, which you just read, unfortunately, and we're going to be talking about what's not good about the movie, is that it's predictable. Now, I don't know if anyone watched this when it originally aired in 2013 and was like, you know, back then it wasn't predictable. But the fact is, it is predictable in today's date. I predicted most of the things that were going to happen. I won't necessarily say it falls under cliche because it doesn't fall under cliches, but it's very easy to recognize what's coming next and what's going to happen. And I kind of picked up on it. So when things did happen, I wasn't like, oh my God, this is happening. I was like, okay, well, I knew that was going to come. I'm glad it came. The writing of the show is really nice. Well thought out dialogues, well thought out story points. Unfortunately, it's not tight enough, and this might be debatable. You can be like, what's wrong with the writing? The fact is, there are some parts where I'm like, okay, but why isn't said certain character doing this? Or why is the character just letting that happen? Why don't you do this and that? And uh, usually when you watch a TV show and you're thinking of things like that, it's not just, oh, okay, I guess the TV show is just like that. It's because the writing is probably not as interconnected and well woven as you thought it should be, right? Like there are points where things could have been a bit better in certain character decisions, certain ways people act, and there are some very obvious things as well, which a normal person would think about, but they don't. There's like a lot of stupidness on some of the characters' behalf. So yeah, the writing, the writing, the writing definitely could have been better, right? So that's one thing which I think this show could have done more. Again, we don't know. I'm just talking about season 1. There's a total of 6 seasons so far. So I hope it does get better and better because this is not a bad season at all. But I do hope that it does increase in quality over the seasons because most shows decrease in quality over the seasons, right? There's not a lot of fucking depth in some of the characters, right? Like we have a lot of characters, even in season 1. I assume it's gonna get much more complicated as we move forward if they do decide to introduce more characters, which I know for a fact they do. But yeah, some of the characters I don't really care about. Like every character has their little moment, right? We have well, Thomas is obviously the protagonist, but every other side character, like Arthur, has a few moments. His brother John has a few moments. I won't say too much. Again, I'm trying to make sure this is spoiler free. And if it's going to be spoiler free, it's probably going to be a very short video, right? But yeah, it some of the characters I just don't really care. They just make said dumb decisions and they just do things, and I'm like, okay, but I don't really care about it. Like, there's not enough built-in weight for me to care about these characters and what they do and how they do it, right? So that's probably the fault of the writing of the characters, right? It's nothing to the actors. I'm sure over the seasons, everyone will have a very fleshed out everything, but assuming I'm in 2013 and one season aired, and this was the only season, and until the next time season 2 came out, this is my review of season 1, and it's not enough in season 1, right? Show has only 6 episodes in season 1, and you might think that's great, but the thing is, almost each episode is like a mini movie. It's an hour long at least, 57, 58. I don't think there's any episode below the time limit of 50 minutes. But some of the episodes really, really do feel too long. Now, there are some episodes where the pacing is really nice, and you're like, damn, this is good. What, 50 minutes are over? That did feel long, but it didn't feel long enough. And then there are some episodes where it's like, oh my god, I've watched a movie for so long, I need to get up and take two shits. So, we certainly have those moments. Uh, Me personally, I like the second half much more than the first half, and that's basically episode 4, 5, 6, because there's only 6 episodes. I do like the second half much more than the first half. The first half is a bit slower, I guess, more world building. The episodes are very strange because they feel fast paced, right? Because of how they end and how they start. But in reality, they're not fast paced at all. It's a lot of like I found myself certain times where I just didn't watch an episode throughout. Like I paused it mid ahead because I watch on Netflix and I like watch something else, or I'm not watch something else, did something else or something. Like I didn't feel the need to sit in one go and finish it. And it wasn't the length that was the problem. It was just that in the long length, there wasn't something that interesting where I had to sit glued to the screen, right? So that was the case. And I'm pretty much that's all I have to say about the bad things about this show, right? Because this show is a good show. Obviously, I could go on and on about many things, particularly regarding the plot, because that did not that did not like me. I did not like that about the plot at all. There are many things where I'm like, really? But the thing is, if I start talking about those, I'll be here all day because they really piss me off, and I will not just speak of them in a single sentence. But let's move on from the negativity. Let's talk about the good things about Peaky Blinders season 1. The plot is good, right? Even though it's very predictable, and it's not exactly the most unique plot you've ever seen. I do like the story that it tries to tell, or is telling. Not it tries to tell, it does it successfully. I like the characters involved. I do like why this is happening, why the story is taking place, why is Officer Campbell sent. It's all great. Like, you won't just be like, all right, well, what the fuck is happening? Because this show never really makes you feel like that. It always does a good job in keeping you connected with the story, right? I will give the show that. The production value in this show is phenomenal. I always like set pieces, things which are set during the older times, not so much about movies or TV shows set in the future. But I do like set pieces because they always have so much value in production. The set designs in the show are incredible. I'm not from anywhere where the portrayal is done, but I'm pretty sure it must be almost accurate. But it certainly feels realistic for someone who's never seen what it is in real life. Because this place takes place in what, 1880s, 1819 or 1919, around that time. It takes place in 1919, I believe. So the thing is, like, it's really good. It gives you the feeling of rustic feeling. And I'm pretty sure it's a set, but it really feels like they just travel back in time to all these places. So great production value. The budget certainly went there the most. And I think it really paid off. The costumes are amazing. The set designs are amazing. Everything about it is just perfect. Even the even the guns, the grenades. I mean, obviously those are details you have to be careful about. But most movies and TV shows don't really give a shit. They just go ahead with it. But this show seems like so far it does. And considering how this is just the first season, I assume this budget will stay throughout and the quality will stay throughout when it comes to set design and production value, which I do like a lot about this show. You guys have been following me. You know that I mostly I'm a whore for acting. I'm a whore for acting in the sense, no, not the Hollywood way. I'm a whore for acting where I really, really like good performances. Even if a movie has absolutely no plot, where it's about a guy going to meet his doctor. If the acting is phenomenal in that, I will certainly feel like, yeah, it's a good movie. Unless, of course, I sit down and review it. Trickery, that's how movies fool you. But the acting in the show is really good throughout. It's not that, oh, some people could have done better or nothing like that. Like, given the screen time that they're given, they do really well. Obviously, it's well acted, right? Different actors. I'm not going to name all of them because, like I said, there's a lot of characters in this. I'm just going to tell my standout performances. Cillian Murphy, absolutely phenomenal. He is acting his ass off. I have seen him in a lot of movies, actually. Is it raining? I've seen him in a lot of movies, and he's doing a good job. Nothing too spectacular, nothing like that. But I'm glad he's given the spotlight in this show because he really does a good job. He is so good at this character. It's really nice. But I feel like out of everyone in the show, the only other person who almost is better than. Oh, also I heard it's Killian Murphy. Good old Irish, shy device. But yeah, Killian Murphy. But the only other person who rivals his performance or maybe even tops his performance is Helen McCrory, who plays Aunt Paul. Such a fucking. It's so good. I have not seen such a strong. I don't know. It's just the character, first of all, is great of Aunt Pearl. Again, I'm not getting into detail of those things. The characters in this show are great. Aunt Paul's character is the most interesting character. I want to know more. So good. I Such a good performance. Every scene she's in, even the most subtle acting, even the most rage-filled acting, Helen McCreary is absolutely killing it. Honestly, almost if it wasn't for the second half, or if it wasn't for the last two episodes of the show, I would say she's blowing Killian Murphy out of the competition, right? But Killian Murphy does do a really good job throughout the whole show as a whole. But yeah, Helen McCreary, oh, so good. I love the character. Already one of my favorite characters I've ever seen in a TV show, Aunt Paul, but also the actress Helen McCreary, which I take a shot every time I've said that by now. She does a great job at what she does. I'm so impressed. And special mention to Sam Neill as well, because I wrote this down but I didn't really mention it to you guys. Sam Neill does a good job. He's the guy in Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park? He's the guy in Jurassic Park. I fucking said it again. But yeah, he's the guy who plays, the guy. But yeah, he does a really good job. I like the way he speaks. He has good acting throughout. Killian Murphy and Helen McCreary stand out. Sam Neill also good. I don't know if he had to make an accent for that. Is that how he actually speaks? But he does a really good job. I also like his performance. I kind of started fangirling over Helen McCreary, so I forgot to mention him as well. But yeah, apart from that, that is all the things I have to say about this show, good and bad. Am I excited for season 2? Yes, I am excited because it doesn't end on a cliffhanger. Let's be honest, no show ever ends on a okay, this is all it's going to be. Every show has to end on a cliffhanger, right? Because that's just how it goes. If I had to give a score to the Peaky Blinders season 1, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Now, that might seem a little less because even though I didn't mention a lot of cons, the cons I did mention really fucking piss the shit out of me. But this is a show which does have a lot of good things more than the bad things, right? So 7 out of 10 seems like a fair rating to me. If you have watched till this point of the video, thank you guys so much for watching. If you disagree with my rating, maybe comment down below why you disagree. If you agree with my rating, don't forget to comment down below why you agree. Don't forget to like the video so YouTube decides to recommend to other people as well. And yeah, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Link will be in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I guess I'll see you all later. Bye.